I had planned a luxurious cruise as a surprise for my kids. But just days before we were supposed to leave, my stepmother shocked me by swapping my kids out for my sister's children. Her excuse? They deserved it more. My reaction stunned everyone into silence. I used to believe family meant support, no matter how much they took advantage of you or how many insults you swallowed, it was worth it because you belonged to something bigger. But sometimes, family is just people who know you won't say no. I wiped my hands on a kitchen towel and glanced at the clock. It was 6:47 p.m. Any minute now, my father and stepmother would show up uninvited, as usual. From the other room, I heard my kids laughing and arguing, creating their own little chaotic world. They were loud, unfiltered, full of life, and that's exactly why my stepmother hated them. They're out of control. You've spoiled them rotten, her voice echoed in my mind, even though our last argument was days ago. Do you even discipline them, or do you just let them run wild? I clenched my jaw but said nothing. There was no use arguing, she had already made up her mind. Mom, are we really going on the cruise? Liza asked, bouncing on her heels. Grandma said it's going to be amazing. I smiled, tucking a stray curl behind her ear. Of course, sweetheart. You and Max will have the best time with Grandpa and Grandma. Just a few more days, and you'll be on that big ship, eating ice cream every day. This cruise was supposed to be special, a carefree vacation just for the kids and their grandparents. I had planned every detail, paid for everything, and made sure my parents had the best accommodations. They didn't have to do a thing, just enjoy the time with my children. Then the front door opened without a knock. Hello, darling, my stepmother's voice rang out, sweet but fake. My father followed silently behind her, as usual, never interfering, never stopping her. I turned and forced a polite smile. Not today, I told myself. Don't start anything today. Good timing, I said. I was just about to finalize the cruise details. She smiled slowly, a calculated smile that made my stomach twist. Oh, about that, she said, taking off her coat and hanging it on a chair. We had to make a little change. I froze. My fingers tightened on the counter. What change? She sat down, crossing her legs like we were discussing something trivial, not months of my hard work. We decided your sister's kids would benefit more from this trip. Silence. I stared at her, trying to process her words. Excuse me? She sighed, acting as if I was the unreasonable one. Well, after our little disagreement the other day, I realized your kids don't really deserve this trip. They're too undisciplined. Too much trouble. Honestly, I thought it would be a good lesson for you to learn how to raise them properly. A memory hit me like a slap 3 nights ago at dinner. Max. Liza. Sit down properly, my stepmother had snapped as my son reached for the bread basket. They're just excited, I said softly, trying to keep the peace. Excited? They're out of control. Look at them. She snapped her perfectly manicured fingers, clutching her wine glass. You've raised them like wild animals. No respect. No discipline. Excuse me? My voice lowered, my patience wearing thin. You heard me. She slammed her glass down. You let them do whatever they want. They need rules and structure. Your sister's kids, they're well-behaved, polite, and they listen. Maybe because they're scared of their mother, I muttered under my breath. Her eyes flashed. I don't expect you to understand, but I won't pretend your parenting isn't a disaster. I took a deep breath to keep calm. My father stayed silent, staring at his plate, never taking sides. Not mine, anyway. And now, here we were. She had been waiting for this moment, the perfect way to teach me a lesson. A cold rage spread inside me. You replaced my children? I asked, voice calm but firm. She waved her hand dismissively. Don't be dramatic. They'll have another chance. Your sister's kids have had a tough year and they're easier to handle. It's for the best. My father shifted but said nothing. He never did. Something inside me snapped. But I didn't yell or argue. I calmly reached for my phone. Oh, I said lightly, that won't be a problem at all. With a few quick swipes, I canceled everything, tickets, suites, excursions. All gone. Her smile faltered. What are you doing? I slipped my phone into my pocket and met her gaze. Problem solved. Silence filled the room like a tight bowstring ready to snap. My stepmother blinked, stunned, while my father cleared his throat, finally showing discomfort. You canceled the trip? She asked sharply, unbelieving. I met her steady gaze. That's right. But that's ridiculous. The cruise is tomorrow. Do you know how much trouble it took to arrange everything? What will we tell your sister's kids? I crossed my arms. Tell them what you told me, that plans changed. Her mouth opened and closed. My father sighed deeply. Come on, honey. Be reasonable. The trip is already paid for. No, Dad, my voice turned cold. I paid for it. If my kids aren't going, no one is. His face showed the first hint of realization. You mean you canceled everything? The rooms? The tickets? Every last detail, I confirmed. Color drained from my stepmother's face. You're being childish. Am I? I tilted my head. Because I seem to remember someone else changing plans without asking. You decided my kids didn't deserve to go. Now, no one is going. She stood up quickly, her face dark with barely hidden anger. You had no right. No, I interrupted. You had no right to make that decision. To treat my kids as less than your precious golden grandchildren. You thought you could teach me a lesson? Here's one for you, you don't get to decide how I show generosity. Her breathing grew heavy. She turned to my father, expecting his support. But for the first time in years, he hesitated, furrowing his brow as if seeing things clearly for once. You canceled everything, he repeated softly. I nodded. And you're really okay with losing all that money? I chuckled shortly. Don't worry. I'm getting a full refund. Her eyes widened. What? I pulled out my phone and showed them the email confirmation from the cruise line. Full refund. The travel insurance covers cancellations for any reason. And since I booked through my corporate account, I pulled some strings. Every cent is coming back to me. I pulled some strings, I said, sliding my phone back into my pocket. Every cent is coming back to me. For a second, the room went still. Then my stepmother's face twisted. You. I echoed, coolly, just erased all your scheming in 2 minutes. Hope it was worth it. You are so ungrateful, she spat, snapping me back to the moment. I let out a slow breath. Grateful? For what? Being told my kids weren't good enough? For being treated like an outsider in my own family? She stormed toward me, jabbing a manicured finger into my chest. I've done nothing but try to help you. I laughed, cold and hollow. Help me? I stepped closer, lowering my voice. Let's break that down. I counted off on my fingers. 1. You took money from me for family emergencies while my kids went without. 2. You call me selfish every time I do something for myself. 3. You've never defended my kids, not once, when they were being compared to your golden grandchildren. And 4. You went behind my back and erased my children from a trip I planned, I paid for, and I organized without even telling me. I dropped my hand. That's not help, that's control, and you don't get to have that anymore. My father stood abruptly. Honey, let's just calm down. No, I said, sharp and steady. I'm done being calm. I'm done playing nice. I grabbed my purse and turned for the door. Where are you going? My father asked. Home, I said, to my kids, the ones I actually want to spend time with. I walked out and slammed the door behind me. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel guilty for leaving them behind. The moment I stepped outside, my phone exploded with messages. I wasn't surprised, my stepmother was never one to lose quietly. I unlocked my phone as I headed to my car. Missed calls. Dad, 3. Stepmother, 5. New messages. Stepmother, you're being ridiculous. Call me now so we can fix this mess. Stepmother, you will apologize for your behavior. You will not ruin this trip for your father. Dad, sweetheart, can we talk? I snorted. Now he wanted to talk. I slid into the driver's seat and locked the doors. My hands were still trembling, not from fear, but from adrenaline. I had finally stood up to them. Then my screen lit up again. Incoming call, Emily. I sighed. Here we go, decline. 15 minutes later. My sister showed up at my door. Not with a knock, more like fists pounding wood. I groaned and opened it, already regretting it. There she stood, Emily, impeccable as always, slick bun, flawless makeup, designer coat. Are you serious? She snapped. Nice to see you too, Emily, I said, folding my arms. She shoved past me, heels clicking across the hardwood. Why the hell would you do that? She demanded. Do what? I asked, playing dumb. Cancel the trip. Oh, you mean the one I paid for? I leaned against the doorframe. Don't start with that, she groaned. Mom said you overreacted. She didn't mean anything by it. I laughed. Emily scowled. What's so funny? I said, acting like this is just a simple mix-up, like I'm the one being dramatic. Because you are, she snapped. It's just a vacation. You're blowing it way out of proportion. Right, I said, just a vacation, just my kids, just one more reminder that we'll never be good enough. Emily rolled her eyes. Here we go, the victim speech. And there it was, the condescension, the dismissal, vintage Emily. You always do this, she continued. You twist everything to make yourself the victim, like the world's against you. Years of resentment bubbled up. I didn't make myself the victim, I said. Mom did that for me, when she decided my kids weren't worth the trip I paid for. She never said that. She called them undisciplined, out of control, too much work. Emily hesitated. She didn't mean it like that, she mumbled. Oh, she meant it exactly like that, and you know it. She took a breath. Just fix it, rebook the trip, don't let this become a family war. Too late, I said flatly. Her jaw tightened. You're impossible, she muttered, heading for the door. I should have known. She reached for the knob. Oh, I said casually. She paused. What? I smiled. Tell Mom she'll be getting the bill for the non-refundable deposits. Panic flickered across her face. Wait, what deposits? You didn't think everything was refundable, did you? The excursions, the VIP dinner, the upgraded suites, those were all special requests. Her mouth opened. How much? 12 grand. She paled. You're lying. Wanna bet? I pulled up the email confirmations and held out my phone. Her hand flew to her mouth. Oh my God, Mom's going to lose her mind. I know, I said sweetly. She fumbled with her phone. Wait till she hears about this. Oh, and tell her one more thing, I added. Emily sighed. What now? Next time she wants a free vacation, she can book it herself. And I shut the door in her face. That night, as I tucked my kids into bed, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Not regret. Not guilt. Relief. For the first time, I had drawn a hard boundary, unshakable and expensive. And something told me, this was only the beginning. The next morning, I woke up to 23 missed calls. 15 from my stepmother. 5 from my dad. 3 from Emily. I hadn't even had coffee, and I was already exhausted. I unlocked my phone. Stepmother, I hope you're happy. Your father is heartbroken. Stepmother, you didn't just hurt me, you hurt innocent children. Do you even care? Stepmother, I told him everything. Be ready to explain. Emily, Mom is livid. She's talking legal action. Are you out of your mind? Emily, just fix it. It's not too late. Dad, sweetheart, please call me. We need to talk. Another call came through. Incoming call, Dad. I hesitated, then answered. Hi, Dad. Sweetheart, he said, voice heavy, tired. Can we talk? We're talking. A long pause. I know you're upset, but was canceling the whole trip really necessary? I closed my eyes and rubbed my temple. Dad, she removed my kids from a trip. You paid for it without even telling me? What did you think was going to happen? He let out a long sigh. I just think, maybe you overreacted. I stared at him, voice calm but cutting. Overreacted? Tell me, Dad, if someone had done that to Emily's kids, would you be saying the same thing? A pause. That's not the point. No, I said, voice rising, it's exactly the point. You've been letting her bulldoze me for years. You always say you don't want to get involved, but what that really means is you don't want to confront her. It's not that simple. It is, I said flatly. You just don't want to deal with the consequences. Silence. Then finally, I heard it, a shaky exhale, like the weight of what he'd been ignoring was finally landing on him. She just wanted to do what's best for the family, he mumbled. I laughed, a bitter, humorless sound. No, Dad, she wanted what's best for her version of the family, the one where I pay the bills and keep quiet. He had no answer for that. So let me make it easy, I said, my voice icy. I'm done. No more funding your vacations. No more fixing your messes. If she wants a trip, she can book it herself. If Emily's kids need entertainment, she can open her wallet. Sweetheart. No, I interrupted. This was my last act of kindness, and you let her throw it away. There was a long, painful pause. Then, in a voice barely above a whisper, my father finally said something real. I don't know how to fix this. I closed my eyes. You can't, I said quietly. You're 20 years too late. Then I hung up. The hours that followed were still, peaceful, even. I made pancakes with my kids, took them to the park, and ignored the chaos I knew was simmering just outside my bubble. But at exactly 3:14 p.m., the doorbell rang. I didn't move. Then it rang again, longer, followed by loud, impatient knocking. I sighed, dragging myself to the door. And there she was, my stepmother, hair a little frizzy, blouse slightly wrinkled, but her expression? Absolute fury. We need to talk. I leaned against the doorframe. I don't think we do. She shoved past me like she owned the place. No surprise, she always had. She whirled around, arms crossed, face twisted. What the hell is wrong with you? I smirked. Could you be more specific? You ruined everything. Do you even realize what you've done? Oh, I realize. Your sister is in a panic, the kids are crying, your father is heartbroken, and you're just sitting here like some spoiled brat. I tilted my head. Sounds like a you problem. She was practically shaking. You're unbelievable. Selfish doesn't even begin to cover it. I sighed dramatically. Yet somehow, I'll survive. She stepped closer, voice low and venomous. You need to fix this. I smiled. No. Her nostrils flared. You don't get to say no. Oh, but I do, I said simply, and I just did. She fumed, red creeping up her neck. You think you've won? She hissed. This isn't over. I laughed. Oh, it is. It ended when you decided my kids didn't deserve to be treated like part of this family. I opened the door, gesturing. Bye, Mom. She winced. That word, cold, hollow, hit harder than anything else. She stormed out. And this time, I locked the door behind her. That night, as I tucked my daughter in, she looked up at me with wide eyes. Mommy? Yes, baby? Did we do something bad? Is that why we're not going on the trip? My heart clenched. I brushed her hair back gently. No, sweetheart, you did nothing wrong. She nodded quietly and turned over, hugging her stuffed bear. And as I stood there, watching her sleep, something in me settled. This wasn't about payback anymore. It was about protection. And if I had to burn every bridge to keep my kids safe? Then let it burn. The silence after she left was intense. It wasn't full of guilt. It was peaceful. For the first time in my life, I'd said no, and I meant it. I sat on the couch, phone in hand, waiting for the inevitable. Sure enough, less than an hour later, my phone buzzed. Incoming call, Dad. I let it go. Incoming call, stepmother. Incoming call, Emily. I ignored them all. Then came the texts. Emily, pick up the phone. Mom's losing it. Dad's freaking out. You need to undo this now. Emily, she's talking about getting lawyers involved. I smirked. Game on. I opened my email and scrolled until I found it, the contract. Signed, dated, binding. Thank you, Ryan. 2 months ago, he'd warned me. You don't trust her? Then get it in writing. Best advice I ever took. I forwarded the contract to Emily. 30 seconds later, she called. I picked up. What the hell is this? I leaned back, smiling. That, dear sister, is a legally binding agreement. You're actually making her pay you back? She broke the terms. She owes me. It's that simple. Silence. Mom is going to lose it. She should have thought of that before she pulled the rug out from under me. Okay, let's be rational, maybe she can pay it off slowly. Or, no. What do you mean, no? I mean no, Emily, she took advantage of me, again, and this time, there are consequences. More silence. You're serious, she said. Dead serious. You'd really sue her over this? If I have to. A beat, then, softly. This is going to destroy the family. No, Emily, the family was already broken. I'm just done pretending it wasn't. Then I hung up. That night, I opened a bottle of wine and waited. Waited for the backlash. Waited for the chaos. Waited for the moment she realized she wasn't in control anymore. At 9:02 p.m., the phone rang again. Dad. Stepmother. Emily. I didn't answer. Because for once, I wasn't afraid of the fallout. I was the fallout. And I was just getting started.